Once that flight attendant gets here and they have done their security checks, then we will be able to. So pretty. Hi guys. I have this little cut on my face. Anyways, what day is it? On vacation? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's the fourth day, or I guess more of like, we got to this house on Saturday, so I don't know, but vacation's been good so far. It's obviously had some challenges, and I would say like the challenges for me have been, you know, when you're with someone else's family, like you don't get as much of a say. And yesterday we went out to go food shopping, and I got to get like more stuff that I like, just like snacks and everything. But because the first like 2 days we didn't go food shopping, I was having their food, and I actually I had these cookies that they had, and they were gross. They were like keto, and they actually made my stomach hurt. And it's funny because like, you know, I would never be convinced like years ago that those would make my stomach hurt because they were like keto and like healthy, but all the fake sugars I think just really bothered my stomach, like the chemicals and everything. We went out to dinner once, and then last night Ben made this really yummy salmon and rice and this like Asian salad, which was really good. Kind of anxious to go out to dinner tonight, but what's helping me is just taking things like moment to moment. It was really nice to have this morning to myself because I've been with people like nonstop since Friday, and it's Monday now. Is it Monday now? Yeah. And I'm definitely more on the introverted side, so it was nice to have this morning to myself. I did like a Pilates body weight class, which was nice, and I think I'll go to the beach today and swim. I've been loving the ocean. It's so warm and really nice to just, you know, be by water. We don't have that where I live now. Obviously, where I grew up, we did. But yeah, tonight we'll go out to dinner. I'm really grateful that Ben's here with me because he just has such a good relationship with food, and that's just really nice to be around, you know, when there's a lot of definitely like diet culture talk in the house. So I am just so grateful that he is not like that. week now. Hi, Benny. Okay, you can't do that on the film. We've been here for a week now. I was very cranky a few days and overwhelmed. And then I got my period. I was worried I wasn't gonna get my period. That was a few days. I think it's just a lot being with someone else's family. But I had cake twice. And usually when I go, or the last times I went on trips, I was a vegan. So it was nice to just have cake with everyone. I tried steak. And what else have I tried, Benny?
You tried?
I tried duck fat French fries. I tried we had that chicken at the Italian restaurant. That was good. And yeah, we only have a few more days left here, and I'm excited to get back to see Lola and then go back to my internship. But it's been really nice besides those 2 or 3 hard days where I was very emotional and extremely sensitive to everything that was going on. Ben has an Italian family, and they're quite loud sometimes. So I feel like it can be overwhelming for me, even though I come from an Italian family. But Ben has been really nice. And unlike some of his family members, he just is really good around food. We both had that cake last night and sat away from everyone because he wanted to watch the baseball game. And I don't know, his mom said it was tiramisu, but Benny said it was salted caramel cake.
It was very far from tiramisu. That's okay.
It's been nice to go on beach walks, and I did some yoga yesterday. And swimming in the ocean has been really relaxing. The water is really warm. We also have a pool in the place that we're staying, so that's been fun. Just a lot of swimming and being outside. So yeah, we have 3 more nights and then we go home. I'm about to go out to dinner, and I really love wearing dresses lately. Like, I find this is from Poshmark, but I just find that they really let you breathe, like compared to really tight jeans. But when you wear a dress, you can just exhale. And I know I read this everywhere, but it's supposed to help with digestive stuff too, wearing looser clothes. And it's just more comfortable for me. But I'm gonna go to dinner. I was feeling a little overwhelmed today, just by, you know, being around people so much. And it can just feel like a lot, you know, being, especially for me, like, I love being around people, but it can kind of start to drain you when you don't know them that well. And another family joined us the last 2 days, so it's been good overall. But today I was a little bit cranky and just kind of missing Lola and wanting to get back to life, and also having anxiety about getting back to school. I start classes my last year of grad school and my internship, and how, you know, after a vacation it can kind of hit you. But I feel really good about food on this trip. I feel like I'm in a good spot, and I want to talk more about that, but I'm gonna wait until another time to do that. And going on vacations just used to be really, really hard for me, and this one doesn't feel like a huge struggle. There's been moments, of course, but I feel good, and it's really amazing, guys. Hey guys, I feel paranoid like filming on this trip because there's so many people around. But I wanted to end this video and talk about vacations and being in recovery and just, where I'm at right now with all of it and my experience with traveling and recovery. But where to begin? Before COVID, I was traveling a lot. Like I definitely was one of those people that used traveling as a means to escape. And I love everywhere that I traveled to. Like, I genuinely loved it, but I was not able to eat in a normal way while traveling. And by that, I mean, I relapsed like every time I would travel, or every time I'd end up in a new country, I would struggle because I feel like I was jumping from place to place and like thinking that if I just went to this place, like I would be fine. And that's not the case, because you bring all of yourself with you wherever you go. Anyways, this trip, as far as like leading up to it, I think I was anxious like the week before. And I think for me, a lot of it is like, I'm a very routined person. I love my routines. I love my schedules. And I've always been like that, like since I was 10 years old, probably even before that, because I was a competitive gymnast and I loved routine. And I think that vacation can kind of be tough for somebody that loves routine, because like the point is that you're escaping your routine. So I was anxious about that, and being with, a family that's not my own. And also the food aspect too. I didn't feel as anxious as I would have in the past. But I felt like a little bit of anxiety because I'm not just, living with Ben. I'm with his entire family on this trip. So I feel like, because this is my last day, and like I said, I want to post this today. Tomorrow, Ben and I will be traveling like all day. But I feel like I did well. It's interesting because like I don't feel like I've been having anxiety around eating. And I, like I say that because in the past, like if I went on a trip like this, I would have had a lot of anxiety. And this time around, like there were moments that were a little bit harder for me, but it wasn't really like because of food stuff. It was because of just dynamics being different than what I'm used to, and a lot of people being around and a lot of noise and arguments sometimes. Like that was hard for me, but the food stuff wasn't that challenging. I tried a lot of different stuff. I had steak one night, and I had burgers one night, and I had ice cream and cake, and what else did I have? A bunch of different types of seafood, and I just feel like it was fun. Like I had it and I moved on, which has been like a dream for me to do with eating, is to just like be there eating it and then move on. The one thing that's been like a little for me has been like stomach stuff, specifically like gut stuff, and it hasn't been terrible, but it's definitely been like a little, not perfect, not where I would like it to be, but I'm accepting right now that like it's better than it has been. But I just feel like, you know, if you're struggling to go on a trip, my biggest piece of advice for you, and when I mean struggling, I mean like struggling with food and exercise stuff, is expect that there will be challenging moments. Going into the trip with that really helps, because then you can kind of like prepare yourself. And this is something that my old dietitian used to have me do, is like not necessarily prepare for the worst, but like what to do when you're in a hard moment, like what to do when, you know, you're overwhelmed or you feel like you just want food that you can make, or when they don't have the option necessarily that you want, or when you're feeling like you should get something but it's not actually what you want. Like preparing for those moments and how to cope when you're in those moments, I feel like is really important. The next thing is like, don't over exercise. I used to really struggle with this on trips, and I would like be trying new food and I'd be going out to eat, and the eating disorder voice would be like, okay, like you're doing these things, so now, you know, it'd be really sneaky. And I'm sure if you're watching this and are in recovery or have had an eating disorder, you know what I mean by that. Like sneaky ways to add in a little bit here and there to compensate. So be mindful that you're not doing that. And I feel like just telling somebody, like I obviously can tell Ben about this stuff, but if you're on a trip, like whether it's with your significant other or your friend or family, if you can just tell someone like, I'm in active recovery, like, can you, you know, I just need to voice this out loud. Like voicing it out loud is really helpful, because then it's not just stuck in your head and you're not just like ruminating about it, or, you know, just like in your head about it. So that's another tip. And for me, I'm just at the point where I'm like, life is so short that I am gonna go and enjoy myself and trust my body. Like I've been able to, I feel like on this trip, like trust what I want. And I've been able to also, this is important for me, especially somebody that struggled speaking up, but like I went grocery shopping for myself. And I really actually feel like that's important to do when you're on a trip, is like make sure you have snacks, because I eat snacks throughout the day, and don't be influenced by other people's, you know, how they're eating, because a lot of people, whether you realize it or not, are caught up in diet culture, and like you need to do what's best for you. And for me, that was like going to the store, getting foods for breakfast and lunch, and getting snacks, and, you know, making sure I had everything that I needed. And when I'm out, like getting what I want, like not getting what Ben wants, not getting what his mom wants, or like not looking at their plate, but like looking at the menu and being like, oh, I want to try this tonight, or like, oh, that sounds good. If you don't do the work, and by that I mean like if you're not challenging yourself, like for me this whole summer has been like, where am I still stuck? Because I talk a lot about quasi recovery, because that's been my life the past 4 years. And if I wasn't able to do, you know, to do all the work that I did this summer around food, I think this would have been much harder for me. But I'm at the point now where I feel like I'm in complete full recovery, where I know that like I know what to do. Like I know how to listen to my true authentic voice. I know what's healthy for me. And you know, you can't doubt that. Because I think for a long time I would be like, oh, but like they're not doing that. Like they're not having like a snack, or like they're just having like some veggies and hummus for lunch. I can do that too. And it's like, no, like I know better now. I know my healthy self. It's because I'm choosing to listen to myself and trust myself and trust that I can do it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this vlog. It's been really fun to make, and I'm so excited to go home. I think this trip has shown me just how much I really appreciate like my little life back home with Lola and Ben, and you know, working with the women I work with at my internship, and just how I wrote on Instagram about this, but just how I'm really grateful for learning to love who I am. And you know, I'm 25 years old. It's taken so long to get to this point. And I have a long way to go too, obviously. That's the paradox in it all. But I am excited to get back to, you know, my little routines, my life, and Lola girl. But I'm just really happy, guys, that I'm at the point where, you know, I can do it. Like, I trust myself, and I think it only continues to go up from here when you trust your own healthy self and your authentic voice. Thanks for watching.